Alright guys, for the bolt disassembly, it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. There are a lot of other tutorials out there, so hopefully this one will help you, but if not, feel free to jump out there and check some other ones out. But it's pretty straightforward, so I'll just kind of show you how to do it here. First thing you want to do is take your a bolt and decock it, and you can either do that by grabbing on the back and pulling to the left, having the whole cocking knob just twisting to the left, or you can grab it like this and pull the whole knob to the right. Pretty much the same gosh darn thing, but I find it easier just to twist it down like that. So once you decock it like that, the front bolt head and bolt carrier should come right off the bolt. At that point you'll see that the firing pin is protruding there out the front of the bolt assembly. What you can do is remove the bolt head. Obviously we'll just take the bolt head right off here. That you can set aside. The firing pin we can remove a couple different ways. You'll notice in the back here, on the back of the cocking knob, there is a line through the firing pin that they have, and then there is a line cut into the actual knob of the cocking handle. Those should line up. That tells you if your firing protrusion is lined up or the firing protrusion is correct or not. You do want to make note of that. Obviously, if you know anything about firing protrusion, that's a pretty important thing if you don't want to get gases blowing back in your face or an over-penetrated primer, I guess, or whatever happens there. So just make sure that lines up, I guess, is the important thing. What you want to do from this point is get that firing pin out of there. You can do it a couple different ways. You can use this teardrop tool that it comes with and actually use the largest notch in there and just twist this counterclockwise to slowly unscrew it out. As you do that, just make sure that when you get to the very end that you're holding it a little bit, because it is under spring tension. When you do that, it will pop out a little bit at you. Another way to remove it if you don't have your teardrop tool is to just take a block of wood or something like that. You can actually put your firing pin, push it down into the wood using your bolt handle. As you push it into the wood, the whole cocking or the bolt assembly should come down, and it should allow you to be able to twist the cocking knob in a counterclockwise direction off the entire bolt assembly and ultimately firing pin. When you release this, be careful that you're releasing it nice and easy, as again it's under spring tension. But at that point you should be able to remove your firing pin and your spring. To get it back together, it's kind of the same thing, the opposite direction. We'll just go ahead and push this back on into the wood. We'll screw this back into position. You really have to push down hard to get this thing to be able to get all the way up to where it needs to go. And then just go ahead and release it like that. At that point then what we'll go ahead and do is put our things back together here. And you just kind of got to play around with the parts a little bit to make sure that they go back together correctly. I mean, just finagle them a little bit, however you got to do it to make sure that they get back. You do want to make sure that your firing pin here is lined up. As you can see, my firing pin is not lined up here. You got to make sure that is lined up prior to putting on that front bolt assembly. Let's go ahead and line it up like that, as you can see. I'll go ahead and slide this on. We want to make sure all the pieces fit together nicely here, like that. That looks good. Everything looks like it's together. At that point I should be able to pull forward on the bolt and twist my cocking handle to the right again, which locks it into its assembled position. Everything should be tight on there, nothing should be loose, and that's it. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward.